But I'm hopping on here to discuss, now that you've been diagnosed with herpes, what does life look like for you? And now what do I do now that I have been diagnosed with herpes? So I did pull a oracle card for this call, and I asked my spirit guides to let me know like what you ladies needed to hear most on this live today. And what came through was peace. So being able to know that there is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. And I share this with you because after we've been diagnosed with herpes, there are so many emotions that go through us, and being able to honor each and every emotion inside of us rather than trying to stuff these emotions down is so beneficial to the healing process after your diagnosis. Because a lot of the times when we find out something so traumatic, right, like finding out we have herpes was a traumatic incident in our lives, at least for my life. And if you can relate, please give me a thumbs up or whatever you feel called to do. And when this traumatic experience happens in your life, we start to go back into our subconscious mind about like, oh my goodness, like this is another time that I felt unworthy. This is another time where I knew like I wasn't going to be loved. This is another time where this happened. And we start creating these proof circles in our minds that we were never worthy in the first place. And now the herpes is the cherry on top for us to never find love, to never be worthy, to never have a great sex life again, and all of these things. So understanding that after you've been diagnosed with herpes, you get to choose how you want to show up for yourself. You get to personally choose, am I going to let this herpes diagnosis really stop me from getting everything that I want in life? Or am I going to let this herpes diagnosis really have me take a second look at what is actually going on inside of me? Where do I need to start implementing different routines and start stepping into the version of myself that I've always been meant to be? And I think it's so important for us to realize that there is no right or wrong way to go about how you handle your herpes diagnosis. If it takes you a week to get over, if it takes you a month to get over, if it takes you years to get over, that is your journey, and your journey is specific for you. We all are entitled to our own opinions, our own outcomes of things, and understanding that if somebody's telling you like, get over it, like you've been down about this for X amount of time, like you have the choice to stop beating yourself up over it. But if you're not ready to do that, then that is okay as well. But also understanding that when you are ready, there are resources out there. There's support out there. Obviously, there's this free support group. There's other support out there with other coaches, other human beings that are doing so much amazing activist work to really help not only end the stigma, but to have individuals step into their true power after they've been diagnosed with herpes. And I know for me, my journey specifically after I was diagnosed with herpes is that I wasn't able to fully accept my diagnosis. I was like still living in denial, still doing all the things that I was doing before. And it wasn't until I stopped feeling sorry for myself and realized like, oh, this didn't happen to me. This was happening for me. Just like our card, right? Like everything is working out beautifully. And understanding that this was happening for me to really step into the version of myself that I've been meant to be, that I've been, meant to be the entire time. So again, you get to choose how you want to handle your herpes diagnosis. And if you guys want to share with me in the comments below, please share with me like what it was like when you were diagnosed with herpes, how you felt in those moments, what you're still feeling, how you've been able to manage, whatever it is that has been coming up inside of you. Excuse me, I'm burping on it, which means I'm moving energy on it, which means somebody is relating to this, right? And understanding that You have the power at any given moment to have that plot twist in your life. I know we've all seen that meme that's like, oh, plot twist, right? Like, you have that ability to plot twist any moment in your life, to start showing up for yourself in ways that you've never shown up before. And you don't have to let your herpes diagnosis stop you from doing that. Understanding that your herpes diagnosis came to show you other parts of yourself, to maybe give you more self-love, maybe give you more compassion, maybe so you would slow down on things in your life that you kept going and going and going, and you're giving and giving and giving to everybody around you, and you aren't giving to yourself. But realizing, like, when we have been diagnosed with herpes, at least from my experience, if I'm giving to everybody else around me and I'm not filling up my own cup, like, I'm gonna have an outbreak after outbreak after outbreak. And if you guys are anything like me, like, who wants to actually have an outbreak, right? Like, my goal for me is to be able to manage my outbreaks so I'm not having them as frequently or at all. And again, this looks different for everybody, but understanding that you get to choose how you want to show up for yourself after your herpes diagnosis. You get to choose whatever it is that you want for yourself after you've been diagnosed with herpes, and letting somebody else's opinions or thoughts or any of this weigh in on what you're going to do after you've been diagnosed isn't going to serve you to your highest self. That's just going to put you in that wounded state and not into that authentic state where you're like, you know, if somebody's judging me because I have herpes, like, what's that saying about me? Like, that's not saying anything about me. That's saying everything about them. And that is okay. If somebody wants to judge you, let them judge you. Let them fester in their own shit, and know that all you need is right inside of you, and all that you're meant for is showing up for you in different ways. So you get to see the signs coming in from all different places, and that sign could unfortunately look like an outbreak, because the outbreak is like, listen, bitch, like, it's time for you to slow down. It's time for you to start taking care of yourself, to start showing up for yourself, and really start pouring into your own self. So I hope you guys resonated with this today. Again, if you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to comment below, reach out to me, whatever it looks like for you. And I look forward to talking to you all soon.